Hey everybody, how y'all doing? It's Steve coming at you. Hope you're having a great day. Well, the Breonna Taylor grand jury came down with their findings, and surprise, surprise, none of the police officers were indicted for the murder of Breonna Taylor. And apparently that got some folks around the country upset, and there's been riots going on. What I don't understand is how anybody thought they were going to get indicted for murder for Breonna Taylor. If you know the real story, it clearly wasn't murder. Because some tactics handled the wrong way, with some things probably handled that could have been handled a little bit better, could have been more clean. It depends on who you talk to. Some people say yes, some people say no. They actually did have a no-knock warrant, unlike what you've heard. And they did have it for the right place, which was her place, because her place was suspected of being a stash house where they stashed drugs. Her name was on the warrant. All those things that you haven't heard about in the media are in fact true. But should they have knocked some, shout out to Officer Tatum, Brandon Tatum. He's a former police officer in Tucson. He says it would have been better off if they hadn't knocked, because those are some of the safest warrants, because you bust in, roust some folks, and then get out of there. When you knock, you give them warning, they get their weapons ready, and it's on. Other people feel they should have knocked, which they did, by the way. Even though they had a no-knock warrant, they actually did knock and announced they were police. This was corroborated by other police officers and an independent witness, and Walker, the guy's last name's Walker, can't remember his first name, the one who shot at the police and shot one of them in the leg, Breonna Taylor's boyfriend at the time, he said that they knocked. He didn't say that they said police, but he said they knocked. But the police said they knocked and said, hey, the police said they knocked and announced it. Police, a third-party witness said, an independent witness rather, said that they knocked and announced it was police at the door. So all the stuff you heard about them just randomly finding the wrong apartment, busted in there, started shooting up the place and shot Breonna because as she was sleeping in her bed, or as her and a man were sleeping in the bed, that's all BS. It's not true. Fact of the matter was, they thought her house was a stash house because a previous boyfriend had been a known drug dealer and convicted of and been involved with the law for drug running. Had been known to send packages to her house. They had suspected her place of being that type of a place for a while, which is one of the reasons why they had the warrant. And the new guy shot at the police through the door, as I understand it, shot one of them in the leg. They bust in, start returning fire. She gets hit 6 times. He gets hit no times. I don't understand how that happened, first and foremost, unless she was right in front of him, or he pushed her out in front, or something. It has human shield written all over it to me. She gets hit 6 times, you get hit no times. Come on now. But anyway, now people in Louisville start wanting to start riots. Luckily, Louisville was getting prepared. They had the police presence there, state police, National Guard. They had all kinds of folks showing up. They were not playing. Of course, they're riding in Portland. They're riding and protesting around the country. This is also unfair. Breonna was murdered. Saying her name, all this other stuff. Nobody wants to take personal responsibility for what actually happened. Fact. Breonna Taylor was involved with goons. One guy ran drugs, another guy had his own issues. Shooting at the police through the door. Attempted to take the police out. Try to say, oh, we thought it was the ex-boyfriend. Okay. Then she got shot 6 times, he gets shot no times. But they said that, they said, hey, knock, 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 boom, 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 police. But we thought it was the ex-boyfriend, right. And it's unfortunate what happened to her. It's sad that she got killed. Some girls like hanging out with thugs, and it's not good for your health. It's really not. You don't hang out with thugs, very high probability that you'll never run into a police officer and get killed. Doesn't mean it's 100% guaranteed that it won't happen, but if you remove the thug element from your life, the odds are very high it won't happen. Now, some of you might think, oh, Steve is so wrong. How could you be so callous? No, I feel bad for her. She shouldn't have died. She also shouldn't have been involved with guys running drugs. She also shouldn't have been involved with thugs. A lot of things shouldn't have happened. But at some point, we have to take personal responsibility and stop trying to blame everybody else. This whole thing reminds me of a movie I saw years ago with Tom Hanks called Bonfire of the Vanities, based on a book. As I understand the movie, I never read the book, but I thought I liked the movie. It was an awesome movie, but I loved the story. Because a lot of what happened in that movie is playing out in real life. It really, much more kind of the art imitates life type thing, or more art, life imitating art. Because in that movie, thug young black kid harassing Tom Hanks, who had money, and his, I believe his fiance or wife or something at the time. I think he accidentally hits the kid with the car. Huge uproar. Rich white man's gonna get off for taking out this black kid, and it's a whole media circus, and the media plays it up like black against white, rich against poor. All this other stuff was in that movie. Go check out the movie if you made it. It's worth it just for the story aspect of what's taking place right now. And that same thing, and media is doing the same thing today, stirring up tensions. And with the advent of social media, which didn't exist back during the time when Bonfire of the Vanities came out, the advent of social media on top of it to stir it up even more, it's the giant social justice cesspool, has gotten ridiculous. And this whole Black Lives Matter, they're writing Black Lives Matter, Antifa, all these guys. BLM does not stand for Black Lives Matter because they don't care nothing about black lives. You need to change your name to CBLM, which means Certain Black Lives Matter, or change it to Black Dead Matter. And only certain black dead matter, because the only time they seem to care about black folks is when one of them dies and a white person was involved, especially if it was a white cop. It's the only time they seem to care. I don't care no other time. So they can miss me with all that. I'm not feeling bad that the cops didn't get indicted, except for one of them. He actually did get indicted for like reckless endangerment or something. It's like one of the three who's lost his job since he's firing and ended up firing off a couple of rounds in another apartment, could have killed somebody. That guy deserved to go. But these other guys, they were serving a warrant. They were doing their job. I'm sorry for the people who don't want to hear the truth and understand the facts, but they are what they are. She shouldn't have died, but she wasn't an angel either. Let's just stop it all with all that. Now, if she was, maybe she just didn't understand. Maybe she's looking past the whole thug element. I sincerely I doubt that, sincerely. Don't put yourself in situations like this. Bad things won't tend to happen. That's the same thing I told my kids. You don't put yourself in situations where bad things can happen. Bad things won't tend to happen. It's just how it is. Be careful who you hang out with, because who you hang out with matters. Trouble likes to find other trouble. Trouble doesn't like to get in trouble by itself. I still think this guy, I think that sleazy ex-boyfriend of hers now, Walker, I still think he used her as a shield. That's me personally. Because I don't understand how he didn't get shot once and she got shot 6 times. I don't understand how that happened. But at any rate, you tell me what your thoughts are. I'd love to hear from you. I read all the comments, so please do leave them. I look forward to hearing from them. Please like the video, share the video, comment on this video. If you disagree with me, comment as well. Whatever you got to say on your disagreement side. For those who understand maybe some parts of the story I didn't discuss more, elaborate more on, please share that as well. I'd love to hear from you. And with that, I hope y'all having a great day. I'll talk to you soon. Take care.